saying, excuse you. No, I'm Peter. You heard of me. I'm a disciple of Jesus. I'm a good friend of his, right? I'm sure you guys know that. One day, me and my friend, my brother actually, Andrew, we were fishing, and then Jesus is walking along the Sea of Galilee, and he comes up and he's like, hey, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. And I was like, all right. And so I just, I dropped the net and I followed him, and it was the best decision of my life because I'm a very good fisherman. Don't tell me. That's disrespectful. Anyway, so I got to follow Jesus, and, I made a few errors along the way, but we all do, and, he died and he rose, and as he was ascending into heaven, he said, go and make disciples of all nations. And so that's exactly what I did. I got to travel, I got to see the world. It was like I was in a rock band, really, but, I was telling people about Jesus, which is a little bit better, right? And, so I'm traveling the world, and I just became Irish. I'm traveling the world, and I'm meeting all these people, and there's this one woman that I got to meet, and her name was Tabitha. And that's what I'm here to tell you about tonight. She was from Joppa, right? And that's where we are tonight. Not sure if you saw the sign outside the door. And she was a seamstress. Has anyone else ever heard of Tabitha? She was a seamstress. She loved the Lord. She was from Tabitha, and she made clothes. And the way that she served God was that she sewed clothes and either gave them to the poor or just cared about the poor in general. It's up for interpretation. But she loved God. And, it's actually weird because the first time I met her, she was dead. She had kicked the bucket and, on her deathbed. And that was a little bizarre. But, I'm in the next town in Joppa, and her friends come rushing to me and say, Tabitha is ill and she's going to die. And so I go there and she's already dead. And her friends are all there and they're mourning her death and, they're crying over her. And so what do? I pray to God and I push all of her friends out of the room and I get down next to her. And I just start praying and asking God to turn her around just like the way that God has turned everything else around in so many people's lives. Turn this death to life. And, God honored me. And I said, Tabitha, arise, and she opened her eyes, and I introduced myself. I said, my name's Peter. She said, my name's Tabitha. And I said, let me show you to your friends. And, we walked outside, and I introduced her I showed her to all her friends, and they were all, amazed that God did another miracle. And it had nothing to do with me praying. It was all God, and God fixing or healing Tabitha and raising her from the dead, which was absolutely amazing. And Tabitha went on to live this brilliant life again, where she continued to care for the poor, and she continued to serve others, and she also continued to be a seamstress, and she wanted to have this life following Jesus, just like all of us can do, where that verse in Colossians, I'm not quite sure what it says, but, Katie mentioned to me earlier, does anyone know what the wow verse is? Something about serving. Jesus? Yes. Good job. But we don't serve man with our lives. What we do rather instead is we serve the Lord and we serve the Spirit. And that's exactly what Tabitha got to do. And so I just want to urge you as you go out to, be like Tabitha. To, God has the power to turn everything around. And, I urge you that you accept that challenge and you let God turn everything around in your life. And am I done? Am I free to go?
No.
Okay, well, we'll start doing some stand-up. What's the deal with airplane food? Who's the heckler, huh? Thank you, everybody, for your time.
I have a question.
Yes.
Are you really from Australia?
No, I'm from the Middle East. Accents used to be a little bit different. Any more questions? Yes.
What's airplane food?
Pretzels. Peanuts. Yes.
Water. Do you get jet lag?
Do I get jet lag? Not usually. Yes. A car.
never.
Yeah, we didn't have them. I just heard about them recently, actually. Saw it on the telly. Yes. I saw it earlier. I heard it on the radio. Yes.